Hello, everyone. Welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers, and join me to talk about the Chicago Bears 2024 NFL Draft Grade. Help me out from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, Jay McLovin. What's going on, Jay?
I'm doing well, Logan. Man, it's good to be here and talk some football, especially these Bears and how they drafted. There's a lot of things going on there.
Man, you ain't kidding. Obviously, the one overall pick. Bears had a lot of talk about them, and now let's reflect. Before we get into it, though, you guys enjoy the video, like, follow, share, and subscribe. You already know the deal. Facebook and YouTube, also on our podcast every single week. Audio versions of our shows on all major podcast streaming platforms. All right, obviously we know with the Chicago Bears had number one overall pick, and to the surprise of no one, they went with Caleb Williams. Then in pick 9 of the first round, they went with Rome Odunze out of Washington, followed by round 3 in Kiram Amagaji out of Yale, the offensive tackle. Then Torrey Taylor, punter from Iowa. And then rounding things out was Austin Booker, defensive lineman from Kansas. So that's all the picks they had, Jay. Only 5 in total. But we know, obviously, they made a big splash in the first round in the top 10. So how would you grade their draft as a whole in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm going to give it Logan, the more I think about this, the more I honestly think about this, the more it irritates me with these Bears. And now that I'm really thinking about it, I know, in a previous show with ESPN, I believe I gave the Bears a B. But the more I think about it now, I don't want to give these guys a B. I don't want to give them that. I'm going to give them a C minus, even a borderline D if I can. A borderline D.
So, and what's your reasoning? You got to back it up.
Number one, you only got 4 picks in the draft. You got 4 damn picks. That's it. And you're going to waste that pick. Yeah. Well, 5. Okay. But you're going to waste a pick. Well, I should say that because it included. But you're going to waste a 4th round pick on a punter. A freaking punter out of Iowa. That's what you're going to waste a pick on. God, what a time to be alive. So that was reason number 1. I thought that was a horrible, horrible, devastating pick. I did like the pickup at number 9 of Odunze, which kept them in the running. I thought that was a great pickup. But this is going to be one of those drafts where it's going to take 3, maybe 2 years to really see if what it really is. But Caleb Williams, I'm not a big fan of. I thought they screwed the pooch on that one. I thought they should have went after Jaden Daniels. I think he's a much, much better player. But they did. They went with Caleb Williams with the number 1. I just felt like that punter and the fact that they missed out on getting Jaden Daniels, which I think is a true number 1, that was just too much for me to stomach with these guys.
Okay.
Oh, and one more thing. Caleb Williams, you better freaking deliver, because if you don't deliver, they're going to crucify you for all that crap you've been talking.
I understand. All right. For me, and also like Jay had mentioned previously, me and Jay did a whole video. I think it was about 40 minutes long. We did the entirety of the NFL in one long video talking about our draft grades for every single team. So go over there, Elite Sports Entertainment Network, and check that out. But here we're doing individual teams. So I believe for the Bears, I would go with a B minus, Jay. Obviously, Caleb Williams pick, that's going to be, the hot button issue to see what he does, right? Because you never know. But what brought me up from, like you said, you gave him a C in the C range. I really like the Rome Odunze pick.
But is it enough to overcome that 4th round waste of a pick on that punter? Because they could have got a punter anywhere, and you want to use that on a punter? I just think that's too much, Logan.
No, and I understand. And I mean, look, I'm a Raiders fan. I can't talk about when special team players get drafted, for God's sake. Let's be real here. But the way that they went with it, and the guys that were drafted, when you look at this as a whole, when you look at the guys like some other guys who got drafted, Kiram Amajale, the offensive tackle out of Yale in the 3rd round. Interesting pickup, right? Interesting. I like his traits, but there's always going to be the thing, Jay. There's always going to be that little notion. Well, he played at Yale. Who did he play against? And so that's always going to be there with him. And then if you look at Austin Booker, their final selection in round 5, D lineman coming from Kansas, who had some good moments last year. Interesting, but overall, I think obviously the main two picks that are really gonna move you up or move you down is the first round picks, and as you mentioned, the punter in the 4th round there, and Torrey Taylor. So I think that Chicago did solid. Like I said, I would like for them to get more selections in the draft to maybe help out, but I'm guessing that that they think that they did enough last year, and also in free agency this year, to maybe have a run at something and maybe get closer to the playoffs. So it'll be interesting though, Jay. But I'm not saying Chicago was the winners of this draft. I'm not saying they were the worst team this draft, because there were few and far between. We just did one of the Chiefs. We thought they knocked it out of the park. We talked about some others who did a whole lot worse. So I would say Chicago, middle of the road. I thought they had some good selections, some iffy ones. But I think that overall they did a decent job. But we'll see what happens though, Jay, because this is just our thoughts on them going to the team. They have not played a single snap yet of professional football. It's going to be interesting to see how they line up and what they do in their careers. Jay, I appreciate it, man. Any final words before we get out of here today?
No, other than I wish the Cowboys would have been in the same situation as what the Bears are in, because I think we could have did some really good stuff there. But what a time to be alive. Go Chicago.
Yep. All right. Well, guys, if you enjoyed the episode, give us a like, follow, share, and subscribe. Facebook and YouTube at 100 Yards of Football. And also go check out our podcast, available on every single podcast streaming platform. Also go check me and Jay out on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, available on all social media platforms. You can find us over there. Guys, enjoy your weekends. We'll talk to you on another